So guess what? Nintendo might be pulling a fast one with the Switch 2, and it's got the entire gaming press and influencers scrambling. Apparently, they're not sending review units for the Switch 2. So this is a rumor going around, and if this is true, what are they hiding? Good little discussion piece here. So apparently major media outlets won't be getting early review units of the Switch 2. That's right. No hardware, no early game codes, nothing until launch day. Not even a week early, not even a few days early, just you'll get it when everyone else does. Wild, right? The Axis Media gets to be a dirty casual with the rest of us. It's actually kind of quite funny. Now, I don't know about you, but when a company is this cagey with a new console, especially one that supposedly sound like hotcakes, I mean, look how fast the pre-order sold. It has confident third-party support. It does raise some serious eyebrows, and while Nintendo's claiming it's because it's a big day one patch, you got to think, several different theories here. So let's go ahead and break it down. This report is one of many. I think the original story broke from gamesindustry.biz, who spoke to a bunch of veteran gaming journalists, right? Hopefully not the kind that are from Kotaku Detected, but they're all saying the same thing apparently, that Nintendo told them they're not getting a Switch 2 until launch day, and it gets even worse. This is all happening during Summer Games Fest. Yeah, that happens during June. The month of June is when Summer Games Fest happens, one of the biggest gaming events of the year, tons of announcements, and now these poor journalists are stuck trying to cover Nintendo's brand new console and everything else that's happening in Los Angeles at the same time on the same exact day. This is going to be chaos. There's no prep. There's no time to test the hardware. No chance to review the games ahead of time. Apparently, they're wondering how are they supposed to do both, which is a honest question, I guess. Fair, since normally they get them pretty early. Now, normally when publishers hold back review units, it's because they're not confident. They think it's going to underperform. They don't think it's ready. They're scared. Maybe a game that they're also not giving review units for might score in the low 6s or 7s, and they don't want to tank their day one sales. When that Metacritic opens, if they're bad, sales tank, which is totally understandable in these situations, but to hold off on a new console, a brand new console, a first party machine, one that's already sold out in pre-orders like the Switch 2, this isn't damage control. This is basically about control, period, right? So let's be real. Nintendo isn't worried about a bad review, okay? That's likely not going to happen. They're just tired of leaks. Think of everything that's leaked between Genki and everything else that we're seeing here. They don't want a single pixel of this thing shown before they say it's okay. And if that means every outlet has to wait until release day, like the rest of us dirty casuals, then so be it. But here's where things get kind of messy, right? Because Nintendo's fine holding back Mario Kart World until launch, knowing full well people will buy it anyway, what about everyone else, right? There's dozens of third-party companies out there that are launching titles alongside the Switch 2, like Cyberpunk, Split Fiction, Street Fighter, Civilization 7, and those devs, they can't be thrilled. They can't be thrilled at all. According to the report, several publishers are apparently feeling completely hung out to dry. Without early reviews, they can't build hype. They can't show off that their ports actually run great. Imagine Cyberpunk. When that first originally came out, they had PC-only reviews out. They didn't even have console reviews now. Now that Cyberpunk's coming out on Switch, nobody's going to have an early review of it. They can't get ahead of all the noise that's going to be happening during Summer Game Fest and the Nintendo Switch 2 launch. I mean, if you're thinking about it, they're going to be pressed for time. A lot of these journalists are working, especially during an event as big as that. They like to have that cushion. They like to get a hold of it too so they can get the clicks. Now they're having to compete with us YouTubers that are going to be reviewing and putting content at the same time. This isn't good for journalists, and I'm not trying to laugh or celebrate whatever, but in a small way, I think this is kind of karma from Nintendo. I think Nintendo is actually being a pretty big boss with telling them, hey, you're going to wait. Access Media kind of has been taking advantage of things in recent times. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if there's actual journalists out there saying maybe they should have delayed the Switch 2 launch. Now, it's not like this wasn't expected, especially the way that Nintendo's been acting shady around third parties for a while. They wouldn't let developers or studios announce their Switch 2 games for months. And they waited way too long to reveal basic details about the system itself. I mean, the specs just barely leaked. And now they're putting Mario Kart front and center while telling everyone else to just wait their turn. Like they're literally, I mean, it's their launch game, but last I checked, they didn't even send dev kits out to certain people, right? So from the outside, it looks like Nintendo is trying to dominate their own launch window, which I mean, I guess that means choking out partners in the process. Now, I want to be clear. I don't think this is because Nintendo thinks the Switch 2 sucks at all. I think it's quite the opposite. I think they know it will sell. Whether or not people get it early, they know that they've got Mario Kart World. They know people are going to buy this system whether or not they read a review. So the system's sold. Mario Kart World is sold. But that's kind of a small problem, isn't it? Because what happens when every publisher starts thinking like this? Like when confidence means that you don't get to see the product until you buy it. If you think about it, like I would be scared to have a launch window game on the Switch too, because it's going to be a crapshoot. You don't know it's going to be good. You don't know it's going to be bad, and the consumers are going to take that out on you. I think it kind of sets a weird precedent, to be honest. Early reviews, yeah, well, the journalists get the bonus of being the first one out there and they get all the views and the clicks. They serve players. They serve the consumer. They help us make informed buying decisions on our games. And when that's taken away, we kind of lose, to be completely honest. I mean, imagine wondering if DK Bonanza is worth your money, right? That you want to buy it, but there's zero info out there at all. Or if you're curious if the new Hyrule Warriors, which nobody's talking about, is going to be worth it. But the press and video game influencers don't have access to early access. They don't have review copies, so you don't know anything about it. Okay, well, influencers shouldn't get to play games earlier. No, YouTubers are a big help with helping the consumer. You know how many times people told me thank you for letting me know whether this game was good or not? Even something as mainstream as Mario Kart World, right? We still don't even know a lot about it. We don't really know how big the world is, what's actually unlockable, whether those P switches are just gimmicks, or until we basically just buy it. I think that's not how it should work. I think video games and movies and stuff should have early access to critics and reviewers so that you could be informed with your purchases, right? And now it's like, you think about how they handled the launch of the Switch OG. Influencers had access to it. Journalists had access to it. There was plenty of reviews out day one. People had early access to like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, snipper clips, you name it. Everybody got their hands dirty so they could explain the system to you. And that's how launches should be handled. But this time, it seems like their mindset is, we already won. Why bother showing this game off? We got your pre-order. We got your money. And from their point of view, there's nothing left to really gain by letting people talk about the system ahead of time. Does it not feel like that? Unless, of course, there's something that they don't want people to see early, which is kind of scary. Like maybe that new kickstand, is it actually any good? Is the voice chat going to be garbage? Is the game chat with the camera going to be bad? Is the battery life horrible? Is game streaming real? Is the eShop still from fucking 2004? I mean, we won't know because nobody's allowed to touch it, and we won't find out until we get it in our room and set it up. Now, I know some of you guys might be saying, hey, maybe it's better this way. There's no spoiler. There's no fear of missing out. Everyone gets to experience it together. Okay, sure, that sounds nice in theory, but in reality, it means that you're flying blind with a machine that you're spending $80 on video games and $400 to $500 on stuff, and Joy-Cons are $90, and that's kind of a scary feeling, in my opinion. Bottom line, I don't think Nintendo's sending review units for the Switch 2 at all, and no matter what excuse they give, it's kind of not a good look, in my opinion. The system may be amazing, but we should be allowed to know that before launch. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you trust Nintendo with this one, or do you think this could hurt the Switch 2's launch for everyone except Nintendo? Like the third-party companies might be screwed a little bit. Either way, I thought I'd make a video talking about it. Make sure you hit that subscription button if you haven't. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Take care. Peace out.